So, so to describe like what we want the falcons doing, or like what we refer to as working, ideally they will, fly in the air and soar above the berries. That puts a presence out that, can be seen for, miles around in every direction, that, there's a predator here and it's not a safe place to be. And when the nuisance birds get brave and try and sneak in anyways, we want that hawk or falcon to actually chase the nuisance bird. And I mean, they learn their job, and they will actually escort the nuisance birds like off of the property and then come back for the reward once they've, been doing it for a while. So it's all about presence and actively, chasing, being an actual threat to the nuisance birds. I describe the bird control like in two different ways. There's active bird control, which is, a falcon or shotgun. It's like, an active threat to the nuisance birds, and then everything else is a passive means of bird control, and that's something like, bird bangers or a scream box, like a bird guard, or something that imitates a threat. But the nuisance birds they're not dumb. They learn that it's, at first it might be kind of scary to them, like, okay, what's going on here? It sounds like there's a bird, a hawk over here, but nothing happens. Like they don't ever see it, or oh, there's a bird cannon that goes off, and it was scary the first time, but they learn like it's not actually a threat. So we actually want our falcons like physically chasing the nuisance birds, and aggressively chasing them. I don't necessarily want them to catch a bird, because once they catch a bird, we, as I referred to earlier, we have to give them a big reward, a big food reward. And they, if one of my hawks or falcons catches something, then they're probably not going to be working the rest of the day, maybe not even the next day. But if I get them to just chase something, and chase it aggressively enough to get it to leave the ranch, then I can give them a smaller reward, and we can get them to do that over and over and over again. So rather than just like removing one bird from the thousands that want to eat your fruit, we can scare away the thousands just like over and over again. And basically, what we're doing is just, it becomes more expensive in calories for the nuisance birds to stay here and keep trying to sneak in to eat the fruit. We keep running them off, and they're not getting their food because they're not having the opportunity to. So it becomes more expensive in calories to stay here and eat, rather than go somewhere else and find, a different food source. Um, and and not only that, but they get into a habit of, they're opportunistic creatures. The nuisance birds get into a habit of coming to the same spot. Well, okay, it was safe here to eat yesterday, and the day before that, like, so I'm going to keep coming here and eating. So we're breaking that habit of the birds like thinking that it's safe to come in here and eat our fruit. I call it bird herding, is another way to just like kind of generalize what we're doing here.